Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is, what time is it? Oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock and it's time for another video. Now today I'm going to do something a little bit different, and this has come from a question that comes up on the Q&A every single week. And I thought, as it's come up so much, I'd try to answer it for you in a longer video. And that question is, what tricks am I going to be releasing in 2023? What's my 2023 release schedule like? Well, so far this year, I've done an Alakazam Academy, my third Alakazam Coin Magic Academy, which was brilliant. Everyone's raved about it, which was really cool. I bought out the Apparition coin set with Alakazam. Which again, thank you so much. I believe that batch 2 has now sold out, and I think they're moving on to batch 3, but that's down to Alakazam. And again, thank you to Justin Miller for being so awesome with that whole thing. So I bought out that. Lucky Lotto, which came out through Penguin Magic, which I've had so much great feedback about that trick. The ultimate bank night effect. It just makes sense to put a bank night into a scratch card, right? And I love the fact that Penguin have now brought out refills as well, making it really affordable to be able to do on a regular basis. And that's something that I do in walk around all of the time. Also, ED Seat came out this year. So ED Seat, which came out through Murphy's Magic, that was this year, earlier on this year. And ED Seat has proven to be really popular, which was fantastic. And again, thank you very much. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm not too sure what, but I do feel like I'm missing something. And obviously it wasn't my project, but I did host McCann for Penguin Magic, and I put my own handlings on there as well. And McCann has been a massive success on Penguin Magic and a massive success as a download, which is really cool. So I've bought a fair few things out so far this year, but what's my release schedule for the rest of the year? Now, obviously, I work with various different companies, and there's a lot of different factors that dictate when things are going to be coming out. So I've had multiple projects in the works with Murphy's Magic for like 2 years now, and so far the only stuff I've had come out through Murphy's Magic is the Quantum deck and ED Seat. But there's lots of other stuff that I know are in the pipeline. Same with Penguin. I've filmed a lot more for Penguin that's actually coming out. Or it's actually come out to this point. So I never know 100% for sure, but I can guess, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to guess. I can't give you specifics about all the projects, but I can give you a bit of a taster. So for everybody who's been asking what's coming out this year from Craig Petty, that's what this video is about. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of some of the things that are coming out this year and through which companies, so you know what to look out for. Obviously, before I even start, every couple of weeks, I'm adding a bunch of routines to the net tricks. So the net tricks is now up to well over 300 tricks and routines. Not all of them are mine. I've got tricks on there from amazing people like Carl Purnell, Dave Loosely, John Carey, Justin Miller, Adam Wilbur, Daniel Chard, Lloyd Barnes. The list goes on and on and on. But as well as all those amazing people that are part of the net tricks, I've put a ton of material on there as well. And I continue, a lot of my creative output goes into the net tricks. That's why you don't see me doing downloads, because if I have something that I think, oh, that would make an amazing download, it's not going to be a download, it's going to go onto the net tricks. And a lot of the stuff that I'm putting onto the net tricks are from my files for the last 5, 10, 15 years. There is material on the net tricks that could have, and maybe one day will be, released as a standalone trick. So I'm not going to talk about the net tricks, but every couple of weeks I'm uploading like 5 new routines to the net tricks, and most of the time, or a lot of the time, it's my own creative output. But what's coming out this year? So first of all, I think we talk about Alakazam. So I've got a few things coming out with Alakazam this year. Again, I'm not too sure what or when, but I can guess. I'm not going to talk about every project I've got in the works with Alakazam, because a lot of those probably won't come out till next year. But let's talk about the ones that I think will make it. The first is I've got a really big coin project that's going to come out. I believe that Alakazam are aiming for a launch of Magic Live, a soft launch. but I think the official release date will probably be around about September or October, so it'll be later on in the year. And this is another big coin project, but this is the biggest one yet. So if you don't know, last year I bought out the Mirage coin set with Alakazam. That was an amazing hit. And then this year I bought out the Apparition coin set. This is another coin set. It's got more coins in this set than any other coin set I've done before, and I've filmed everything for it. My part in this is done. And the reason I say that it's the biggest project ever is I've gone really to town. I believe there's 44 routines on the project. 44 routines, not tricks, not ideas, but 44 routines, and there are multiple live performances of every single routine. I went to Houdini's in Canterbury, which is an amazing magic venue, where we filmed the Mirage coin set. We filmed Cheeky there, something else I believe. We filmed a few different things there, and we spent the day there with me filming performances. I filmed a ton of performances. Every single routine has at least one live performance. So there are, if you think about it, 44 routines with numerous live performances. I think there's probably about 2 to 2.5 hours of just live performances on this project. And the actual tutorial length, I believe, comes in at around about 6.5, maybe 7 hours. So you're looking about a 10-hour project here. And again, just like with the Apparition coin set and just like with the Mirage coin set, it's designed for every single difficulty level. So if you're a beginner, there's stuff there for beginners, there's stuff there for intermediate, there's stuff there for advanced. And I talk about how to routine these tricks together and how to create a coin act just using this set. But then I also talk about how you can actually combine this with other coin sets that I've bought out with Alakazam, and there's a bonus section where I talk about that sort of thing as well. It's amazing, it really is. It's the magicians that came along to the shoot, they were just sitting there going, oh my God, I want this, I need this now. I think somebody tried to buy the prototype of Peter Nardi. So yeah, so that's a really big coin set. It's the biggest coin project I've done. Again, the gaffs are being made by Roy Coopers, and it's coming out, hopefully. I know Alakazam want to do a soft launch at Magic Live. So that's the third big coin project that I've got coming out with Alakazam. Very, very soon. This is definitely going to be released soon. I know this because we got live performances of this at Houdini's. And I've already filmed the tutorial. I've already filmed kind of the pitch, the tutorial. Everything's done. I've got a Just Chance style routine. Now, for people that were at Blackpool that came over to the Alakazam stand, this had a soft launch at Blackpool. And I've had so many people that were at Blackpool that have said to me, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm using it to open up my my mentalism set. And that's what this is. It's like basically a Just Chance style routine, or a that sort of thing. It's got money on the line. It's a bet. It involves influence. It's really fun. It's completely self-contained. It's an immediate reset. It's designed for workers. It's really fun, really colourful, completely self-working. It is the trick that I use to open my mentalism set. And I always gauge how well I've done with these releases by Nemid Phoenix, who for me is one of the most amazing magicians I know. And he watched that and he was like, oh my God, I want to do that, and I want to do that now. So yeah, that's coming out soon because they've got everything. They've got the packaging, they've got everything. I believe this might even be getting a live launch next month. So in May, or even this month, May, June, this is going to be getting a live launch. So that's very, very exciting. Another one that got a soft launch at Blackpool, that will be coming out probably in the next month or two, is another routine. And this is Ryland's trick, but I had creative input on it. So it was Ryland's idea, it was Ryland's trick. Ryland, it's all Ryland. He came and showed me the idea, and I was like, oh, that's really good. And I just made a few handling tweaks, but it's 95% Ryland. And then I added some extra bonus routines with it as well, because the stuff that you get with it, you can actually do lots of other routines with it as well. So as you would imagine with Ryland, it involves cubes, but what's really interesting is you don't need to solve a cube in order to be able to do the trick. Now, if you can solve a cube, that's great, because there's options there for people who can solve a cube and can do cube manipulation. But if you can't do cube manipulation, it's not a problem. It's accessible by absolutely everybody. And it takes a classic plot and moves it in a completely different direction. I don't want to say any more about it, but it's very cool. And again, anybody who came to the Alakazam stand at Blackpool and saw Ryland demming it, they were walking off with one immediately. And It's a really fun trick. It's a really fun routine. So the next thing that I've got coming out through Alakazam this year, and again, this has been done. The live performances have been done. I know that because I did them at Houdini's. I also did the tutorial. This is a long one. This is about 3.5, maybe 4 hours. This is another one of my big Gaffed deck projects. So you know that I love taking Gaffed decks and I kind of take them in a completely different direction. Well, I've done that with the cheek-to-cheek deck with Cheeky. I did that with the Invisible deck with Visible. I did that with the Stebbins stack with the Beyond Stebbins project. I did it with the Mem deck with Forecast. I'm looking at probably my favourite Gaff deck. And it's a Gaff deck project. You get the Gaff deck with it, and you get a ton, and I mean an absolute metric ton of routines that you can actually use that deck for. Loads and loads of stuff, and it's all really super commercial. And I've done the same thing that I did with Visible, in that I've gone completely in the different direction. So this Gaff deck is designed to do one thing, and it does it well. But I think there's probably about 20 to 25 routines on there, taking it a completely different direction. So again, the packaging for that's done. I've seen it. The tutorial is filmed. I don't think it's edited, and they have everything they need for the trailer. So that's all sorted. Then you have another thing, which is an EDC. It's like an everyday carry. I'm not going to tell you much about it other than it's something that people keep in their wallets. And it's not credit cards, and it's not receipts, and it's not money. But it's something that a lot of people keep inside their wallets, and you take them out, and you can do multiple routines with it. And I filmed this at Houdini's as well when I was down there a few weeks ago. I filmed this in Houdini's as well. And what I did is I took some of the routines off the project, and I did a 15-minute mentalism act, just using this one thing. So you get this prop with it that is designed to be an EDC. It looks like the sort of thing that you keep in your wallet. Just using that, I did a 15-minute mentalism act, and the reactions were just insane. So I filmed this whole 15-minute performance, and I'd like to think that Alakazam will just use that as the trailer, so you can see exactly what this can do. But that's what it is. It's a 15-minute mentalism act that will fit in your pocket, but you can do more than 15 minutes. There's tons of routines on there. And I spoke to Peter Nardi a couple of days ago, and he showed Mark Paul, who I consider to be one of the best mentalists in the world. He showed that to Mark Paul, and Mark said to him, "Oh, that's a really amazing idea. I love that." So that made me feel really happy. Because I've said to you guys on the channel before, I'm not really a mentalist. I do mental magic. I understand a lot of the principles behind mentalism, but when I perform it more as a kind of a mental magic type thing as opposed to mentalism. Although with this, when I did that 15-minute set, it was all mentalism themed so that people could see what you could actually do with this. And I'm really excited about this. Very, very excited. I worked with Alakazam for a few months to get the gaffs. I say it's gaffs, they're all examinable. It's not really gaffed, but to get the prop looking exactly what I wanted it to look like, and it works like a charm. So that'll be coming out this year. I'm positive of it. There's other stuff with Alakazam that will be coming out. I don't know if it'll be coming out this year, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the one other thing I want to say is I am in the process of working in another Christmas trick for Alakazam. Elf was amazing. It sold out like after a day or two. And so many people have said to me, "Oh my God, Elf was brilliant. I loved Elf." Yeah, Elf was so good, which was the trick I bought out through Alakazam for Christmas last year. So I'm working on a new Christmas trick. It's kind of weird going to gigs at the moment and actually performing a trick about Christmas, but you know, that's the only way you can work it in. But I've got this Christmas trick, which should be ready for Christmas. And it's a completely different style of trick to Elf. It's very, very different. But even though it's different, it's just as themed to Christmas. It's very, very cool. I don't want to say anything else about it, but if you know my work, you'll recognize the trick when you see it. I've just adapted everything to a Christmas theme. So that's Alakazam. Now let's move on to one of my favorite companies, Murphy's Magic. So Murphy's, I've only ever bought 2 things out, but I've got multiple things in production with them. I've only ever bought 2 things out, which is EDC and the Quantum deck. So the first thing that will come out, I'm pretty confident of it, is Anybody who was at Blackpool would have probably seen me showing this around and performing it to absolutely everybody. I also did some live performances of this recently at Smoke and Mirrors. This is a mentalism product, and I got Pete Turner involved with it, which is fantastic. So this thing is it's a custom designed, custom printed. I don't want to say it's a deck of cards because it's not a deck of cards, but it's a custom designed, custom printed thing. What it allows you to do is it allows you to do almost every single classic of mentalism and a lot of classics of magic as well, but with completely different props. Now, it's about a 5 or a 6 hour tutorial, and I sat down and I did a 2-hour session with Pete Turner. So Pete was involved in the tutorial for this because I really wanted an incredible mentalist to sit down and go through how he would use this. And I'm really thankful that Pete was available to be able to do this. So there's about 3 to 3.5 hours of me talking about applications with this. And then there's a 2-hour sort of almost like jam session with Pete Turner where Pete and I talk about ways that he would use it. And I'll tell you right now, he blew my mind with the tutorial on this. He was showing me stuff with my own trick that it wasn't designed to do. And I was just sitting there going, I can't believe you can do that with this. I didn't even think about taking that in this direction. So it's just great. If you like walk around strolling mentalism, this is great. There's no memory work. There's no crib. It's so many options in terms of what you can do. You could literally just carry this around with you and do, and I'm not exaggerating here, a half-an-hour mentalism set very, very easily. I'm so excited about this. Now, the prop is on its way over to Murphy's. They've got the live performances. They've got all the tutorial. They have everything that they need. So I can't see why this wouldn't come out this year. The next thing is another cube thing. But this is very, very different. I've always wanted to release a cube project. This is a cube project, but it's very, very different. It doesn't use a Rubik's Cube. It uses a prop that you can combine with the Rubik's Cube to take cube magic in an entirely different level and to an entirely different direction than you would traditionally see cube magic. And I spoke to a really well-known mentalist. I'll say who it is. I spoke to Phil Smith, and Phil turned around to me and he said, you know what I love about this? It allows me to do stuff with cubes without even needing to solve a cube. Like, you don't even need to have even touched a cube, and you can do incredible cube matchups. And again, this is a really big project. I wanted to get other people involved in this because I think this is something that will work for magicians, it will work for cubers, and it'll also work for mentalists. So there's an 1.5-hour sit-down session with me and Peter Nardi on this project, where me and Peter Nardi sit down and talk about applications from a mentalist's point of view with this project. And then there's going to be another section, which I'm filming next week, where I sit down with Kev G and Colin Klaus from the Refractor Project, who are two of the most well-known cube guys that I know, and they talk about, in a session environment, they talk about the sort of stuff that you can do with this from a cuber's point of view. And then there'll be my tutorial as well, which I'm filming hopefully next week, and that tutorial will cover all of the different applications that you can use this for. It sounds intriguing, right? But it's a product that you can combine with a cube that will allow you to do stuff that you never thought was possible with a Rubik's Cube. And it's been road tested to the nth degree. I am so happy with this product. I really am. It's everyone I've shown it to has gone, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. You could do this, you could do this, you could do this. It's like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to cube magic, but it doesn't even involve a cube. Really, really cool. Then the other, and that should come out this year as well, because I know they're sitting in the Murphy's warehouse. They're just waiting on me finishing the tutorial. Then you've got the product that I've been talking about for about the last year or two now, which is the Gaffed deck project with me and Lloyd Barnes. It's mine and Lloyd's joint release. We sat down over the last 1.5 to 2 years, and we sat down, and our goal was to create the ultimate Gaffed deck, having some of them Lloyd's amazing ideas mixed with my desire to make it commercial and make it practical and make it real world. And some of the gaffes in this project, you're just going to be blown away by. It's like, hang on a minute, I never even thought this was possible. And I can't really tell you much about it other than we wanted all killer, no filler. So there's no double backers or double blank cards or blank. No, every single card is its own thing. And the tutorial for this, when we film it, is going to be immense, because there's multiple routines you can do with each gaffed card. So we're going to have 52 separate tricks just there, but then more. Like it's big, it's big, it's very big, and I honestly, we've now finished it. We just finished last week the final card. We're waiting for them to wing their way over to us. We've already got all the routines planned out. I just need to go and work them in over the next month or two. Make sure they are exactly what we want them to be. I'd like to think this could come out by the end of the year. We're not going to rush it, because both myself and Lloyd are very, very passionate about making this the best it can be. But yeah, I'd like to see it come out by the end of the year. But honestly, there's a torn and restored card in there, right? Okay, I have to tell you this. There's a torn and restored card where you take, you show 4 pieces of card, right? From different decks, two red, 2 blue, 2 different cards, whatever they are, doesn't matter. King of Hearts, 10 of Spades, right? Your hands are empty. You reach up and you take 2 of the pieces and you just fuse them together like this. You can see that they really are fused. You take another piece, and it's weird because it's like a red card being fused to a blue card, almost like a mismade, but with different colours. And then you take another piece and you do it there. So you've got 3/4, and you can show it both sides. It really is 3/4 fused together. And you take the last piece, and instead of putting that into position, you take the last piece and you put it in a sort of an angle, and then you just do this. And now it's all fused together, and that last piece is kind of angled, jutting out. So it's kind of like angled over, and then you just give it out. You say, hey, have a look at that. It's that clean. I mean, it really is a very, very, very strong torn and restored card. And that's just one thing. It's super practical. Cannot wait. I really think that this is probably going to be one of the best things that I've ever released, and it was so fun working with Lloyd on that as well. And then there's one other thing that I think we're going to see by the end of the year. In fact, I think we might see this by the summer. We're just waiting on the final prototype. I've had my prototype now for a couple of months, and I've worked it in gigs over and over again, and it kills. But I'm just waiting for the final prototype, and then hopefully we'll get delivery and we can go for it. But I like to think it's the final word of a very popular plot. I don't want to say any more, but I think it's the holy grail when it comes to a particular plot. I think that that's it. It's the holy grail as far as I'm concerned. Again, very, very proud of that. And there's a lot of other people that have had input on this beyond myself. So that's going to be something really exciting that I think that everyone's going to be excited about. Let's move on to Penguin. I've got a few different things coming out with Penguin this year, and again, you never know what. But the first thing that I could talk about is I've got another key trick coming out. Now, this key trick is very, very different. It involves a hole on a key, but it's very, very different to what you've seen from Keymaster. It's a very, very different approach to doing magic with a key. You get a single key, and you take this single key, you do something absolutely amazing with it. The visual on this is incredible. You do this incredible visual that I don't want to say anything about, but you do this incredible thing that really just looks mad, and you look at it and you go, what? How's that even possible? How could that even work? So you do this incredible visual. But what's really cool is we've built it into the exact same style of key as Keymaster. So if you do Keymaster, I'm going to be talking on the project. I'm going over to Penguin in a couple of weeks' time to film all of this. If you do Keymaster, you'll be able to get this, and I'll be talking on the project about how to actually incorporate this into your Keymaster routine. So, or the various different routines you do with Keymaster, or you can have it as a standalone piece. It's completely up to you. But it's a really insane visual. I think I'm going to be seeing a lot of people on social media doing this trick. Really, really cool. Then I've got a credit card trick. I don't want to say too much about it. It's another ED seat. Because not EDC, sorry, it's not an ED. It's nothing like EDC, but it's another EDC. It's another everyday carry because it's credit cards that you have inside your wallet. Okay, and you take the credit cards out, and you've got this really cool, interesting hook. And the hook really is interesting. It absolutely makes total sense. So you've got this really cool hook that allows you to then go into this insanely visual credit card routine. The really nice thing is at the end, everything is examinable and it is instantly repeatable, and it's unlike any credit card trick that you've ever seen before. It's cool, and it's also almost self-working. It's very, very easy to do. So it's very easy to do. It's almost self-working. It's immediately reset, and it's examinable. And everyone I've shown it to, they've gone, oh my God. At one point, I didn't think I'd be able to get this done. At one point, I was like, this is just not going to happen. I went back and forth for probably about 3 years to get this to a point where it's ready for release. It was a difficult thing to put together, but I'm really happy it's come out the way it has. So I can't say anything more about that, but it's probably the best credit card trick I've ever seen. And then I'm going to be doing something with Seth Race. So Seth has created a trick that I'm having input on in terms of the routines. If you saw Flip Barn, that was by Seth Race, and I put some routines together for the tutorial for Flip Barn, that's exactly for the same for this. I've put some routines together for this trick that Seth put together. It's an incredible trick. It's another everyday carry, and it's typical Seth Race genius level thinking. And I've put some routines together for it that have taken it in a completely different direction. Can't tell you anything other than it's a coin trick using regular coins that you can borrow, and a prop that you would expect to have with you all of the time. And because it looks like an everyday carry, and you can do some insane magic with this prop and with these coins. Very, very cool. I'm really happy Seth asked me to be a part of that. And then there's something else that I've got coming out. It's not a card trick. It's not a coin trick. It's not a mentalism trick. It's not a sponge ball trick. It's not a rope trick. I think it's the very first trick using this style of prop. I don't think anybody has ever done anything with this style of prop before. It's meant to look like an EDC. It's not an EDC because it's not something you'd carry around with you all the time, but it's something that when you bring it out, everybody would go, oh yeah, I know that. Most people have got them. And it allows you to do some really insane visual magic. If you, anything you can do with coins, you can do with this set. And oh my God, it took probably about 4 years to get to this point. I originally had prototypes made over here in the UK. I sent the prototypes over to Penguin. They then completely changed them. They sent prototypes back to me, back to them, back to me, back to them, back to me, back to them, until we've got to the point where it is. And I said to a friend the other day, I said, this could be Penguin Sucker Punch. If you know Sucker Punch, it's one of the best things Murphy's ever put out. Using poker chips. This doesn't use poker chips or anything even remotely like poker chips, but it could be kind of Penguin's Sucker Punch, if you know what I mean. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool. I can't say any more about it, but I think that when people see it, they're going to go, oh my gosh, that's just a really cool way of doing coin manipulation without using coins or anything that even looks like coins. I'm not going to say anymore. I think you'll be really excited. And then finally, I think that this year you might see a custom printed deck of cards from me through Penguin. And I can't tell you what it is, but I will tell you, in a way, it reminds me of the Snaps deck. It's not the Snaps deck. It's not anything like the Snaps deck. There's not letters and numbers hidden in pictures or anything like that. It's not even a picture deck, but it is a custom printed deck that's not a playing card deck. There's not playing cards, that allows you to do incredible mentalism routines. Like, I'm talking incredible mentalism routines. So yeah, I mean, I can't, it's very difficult to say anything else about this, to be perfectly honest, but that's what it is. It's a custom printed deck of cards. It's not a deck of cards. If you bought it out, it would look like something everybody has seen, but it's not a deck of cards. And when you open them, there are a million options of how you can use this thing. You could use it for multiple different magic tricks, multiple different mentalism tricks. You can do so much with it. It's just crazy. Can't really say anything else about it other than it's brilliant. It really is. It's probably one of the I'm so excited about people seeing this. I really am. And when I showed it to Penguin, their mouths just dropped. They were like, "What? What?" So yeah, I'm sorry about being vague, but that's really cool. For people that asked about the lottery prediction that I put on my Vanishing Ink Masterclass, and I said it's coming out through Penguin at some point in the future, I believe that will come out this year as well. If you've seen my Vanishing Ink Masterclass, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody raved about it. A lot of people said it was worth the price of the project, that mentalism, that lottery prediction. Well, it is coming out at some point this year, I believe. I have been told. Then we move on to 1914. I'm filming 1914 on the 1st of June. Got a couple of different things that we're currently in production with, and then, you know, we'll see what happens towards the end of the year. There might be more. But the first thing is a everyday carry lottery prediction, where you literally give somebody a real lottery ticket that you've bought in a shop. You have them think of 6 numbers and they match, and it just fits in your wallet. And you take it out, you put it away, you reset. It's all examinable. There's nothing to see. It's a very clean everyday carry lottery prediction that works really, really well. Can't really say anything else about that. That's about as clear as you can get with it. It's a lottery prediction that you carry around in your wallet that allows you to predict the lottery. And then I'm still hopeful that the Svengali project will be coming out by the end of the year through the 1914 as well. Me and Dee talked last week, and I think we're in a position where we're going to start pushing ahead with that. So yeah, look out for the Svengali deck project. Look out for the lottery prediction. Both of those will be coming through from the 1914, hopefully this year. I think the lottery prediction will be first. And I've got a little other section down here. I'm going to be hopefully doing a 4th Coin Magic Academy, but I'm also going to be working on some other people's stuff as well. So I'm working on an incredible project with Mark Bennett. He's hoping to bring out very, very soon. That's really, really good. So Mark Bennett, incredible magician, incredible comedy magician. You've probably seen a lot from him recently. The most recent thing is the King's Noble. He's asked me to come on board and help with a particular project he's got coming out. Rich Relish has something coming out with Murphy's this year, and I'm going to be involved in the project only so far as I'm going to be suggesting a few routines that you can do with the thing. But what Rich has come up with here is genius level thinking. Rich has got some great stuff coming out this year. You're going to be seeing a lot from Rich Relish. I'm also going to be working on a couple of other things with Alakazam. Alakazam have asked for my input on a couple of different things that are coming out this year through Alakazam. And I very probably, we're just discussing it at the moment, but there's a very, very good chance that myself and Chris Congreve are going to be working on a project as well this year. So me and Chris Congreve, everyone knows that I think Chris is incredible. I talk about it all the time. Well, Chris and I hopefully will be working on a project this year as well. Yeah, and then Vanishing Ink. I need to get back to Vanishing Ink, but I believe that there's a very good chance that me and Vanishing Ink will be doing something this year as well. We need to dot the I's and cross the T's, but I'd like to think that me and Vanishing Ink can be working together on something this year as well, but there's nothing set in stone just yet. I need to have that conversation with the guys, but watch this space. So, for everybody who wanted to know about my release schedule for 2023, that's it. I'm sorry I can't give you exact specifics, but I'm bound by sort of rules and NDAs and so on and so forth and things like that. But all will become clearer as we move through the year. Not all of this stuff might come out. It might be next year. It might be the year after. But in an ideal world, you'll be seeing a whole bunch of this stuff come out this year, all of which has been worked on over the last sort of anything from the last 3 years to the last 15, 20 years. So yeah, thank you very much for showing an interest in all of my stuff. Thank you for asking me to make this video. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, if you want to see a lot of my output, just go to the Netrix, www.thenetrix.com. That's www.thenetrix.com. It's where you go to check out all of my material, and you can see exactly what I've got coming out and exactly what's going on, and you can keep up with all of it. But thank you so much for watching. Go check out the Netrix. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.